Welcome back, guys. We are live at GameStop Expo 2014. I'm Andrea Renee. Be sure to use that hashtag GameStop Live if you guys have any questions, if you want to get in on the conversation about what we're talking about. But right now I have Anthony and Gabby with me from Little Orbit. We just saw Adventure Time, and now we're going to see Falling Skies, the game. Mm-hmm. So most people only know Falling Skies as the television series, and you guys are making a game. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So for those who may not be familiar, Falling Skies is this post-apocalyptic sci-fi drama about aliens that have invaded the planet and the humans who are trying to win it back. And so our game takes place within the world of that show. You command a squad of the Second Mass Militia, and it's a tactical RPG. So you're going to be commanding a squad starting out with 4 units and taking them on missions. And at the onset of the show, the game, you've rescued this scientist who he believes he's got the base component for an item that could be this super weapon that might change the direction of the war in favor of humanity. So commanding your squad, you're going to be embarking on a number of missions to basically scrounge together the components that he needs to finish this thing and hopefully make some headway in the war.
Wow, that sounds really intense. So now we have some gameplay that Gabby is running through for us. Can you describe a little bit what's happening on screen right now?
Right. So, like I said, it's a tactical RPG. So it's turn-based. You're going to be moving your units one turn at a time. Each unit has 2 action points that you can use on any combination of movements or actions. Each character falls into one of 5 different character classes. Right down there in the corner is our Berserker. He was laying down some suppressive fire. Each class has their own special abilities. This is the Scout. They act kind of like snipers, reconnaissance units. They're great for getting behind enemy lines, dealing massive damage from afar. And our Berserkers, they specialize in heavy weapons. They got bazookas that can dish out some great AoE damage. We've also got fighters who are kind of like they're basically the tanks of the group, so you want to kind of keep them on the front lines. They can soak up a lot of damage. They've got abilities that can boost the defense of their allies. And then we also have our Spike Kids, who are based off of some of the characters in the show. They're sort of melee specialists. They got this super jump ability so that they can, really get up in the face of the other aliens. And then, as you can see here, we got all the aliens that are definitely going to be familiar to fans of the show. Those are that's our Skitter right there. They're melee specialists, and mechs, which are heavy weapons guys. And so each enemy is going to have kind of its own individual strategies that you want to employ to defeat them.
How many different characters from the show are playable?
So we got Tom, Pope, Maggie, Anthony, and Ben, who are all going to make appearances in the game. And as a sort of a treat to the fans, we did get to get all the actors from the show
fantastic.
To do all the voices. So we were really excited to work with those guys. And we also have some new faces for this original story that we've created. The story does take place in between the 3rd and 4th seasons of the show. But, of course, if you've never seen Falling Skies before, it's a nice self-contained story, so you're not going to feel lost if you haven't seen it. But it does fit within that narrative there. And so, we had a lot of fun working with those guys in making this.
Yeah, I actually had the opportunity to talk with Moon Bloodgood about season 2 way back when, and she was really fun to talk to, and I'm sure getting to work with them was really awesome.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we collaborated with the show creators as well. We had to make sure that because our game takes place prior to the season that just ended, we needed to make sure we were going to end in a spot that lined up with where the series was going to be. But anyway, as the combat is certainly the meat and potatoes of the game. But in between missions, you're actually going to return to the base camp, which adds this whole metagame element. And I'm actually going to turn things over to Gabby here, so she'll be able to talk about what we can see in the base camp.
Okay, so the 4 major sections that we have, first is the armory. This is where players are going to recruit units to add more in case people have fallen in combat. You can also do upgrades to your squad, which is going to include extra squad slots, crit chance, and also extra damage in combat. That's all going to take your food resources to do those upgrades. In the workshop, players can upgrade items, including eventually you can get the weapons from the Volm, which are the allies to the humans in the show. Other things like ammunition, armor, utility items, grenades, things like that. Next is the infirmary. So you're going to use your medical items in here. This is where you get your wounded people. You can eventually use medical supplies that you get through missions to heal people faster. You can get your medic through here eventually to aid in more healing during your combat missions. There is also a memorial because there is permadeath in this game, so this is where you could see your fallen heroes if you have any. We don't have any at this moment.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, doing pretty good. So the war room is where the main action takes place. There's 2 types of missions. There's a dispatch mission, which is a solo mission. You send a single player out to get extra resources. They come back, they get experience. So it's a little bonus. Then here we have our side missions. We've got a variety that's available through the game. They all have different objectives. They take place in different environments. So if you go into this screen, you can see what kind of resources that you're going to be rewarded for successfully completing it, as well as seeing what kind of forces you're up against, so players can make choices depending on what they need and what's going to be easiest for them. So this is your squad selection. This is everybody we have at the moment. There's our different classes. They can also... Every class has its own special skill tree that they can customize in, just depending on your style of gameplay. There's also equipment screens, so you can change your equipment according to what you have available from your workshop right now. So I think that about covers the metagame.
There's so much information to process.
Yeah.
But, I mean, strategy games are usually pretty involved and take a little bit to really find to tinker around with, and find out exactly how you want to play.
Right.
What kind of player are you, Gabby?
I have gotten into turn-based because I've been playing this game so often. It does get a little bit addictive. This is a pretty good game. It gets you hooked.
So why did you guys decide, of all the different genres that you could have gone with to work with on Falling Skies, to go with, this tactical strategy game?
Yeah, well, we felt that tactical strategy was a natural fit for Falling Skies because on the show, you always, it's about humans against these overwhelming aliens. And, they're outmanned and outgunned by these forces. And so they have to apply these kind of guerrilla warfare tactics. Striking from advantage points and setting ambushes and everything. And so, we felt that this kind of gameplay really played to the strengths of the themes that you see in the show, and we felt it was a good match. And plus, there aren't there really aren't too many strategy RPGs on consoles, and so we thought it kind of there was a bit of a void there to fill in. And we've been very pleased by the response we've been getting for going in that route.
Well, that's fantastic. Have you heard anything specific from people here at GameStop Expo?
Yeah, actually, people have been really excited just to see that there's another strategy RPG coming out for consoles. Not since there's been a lot of great titles in that genre, but mostly on handheld and PC. And so a lot of people mistook this for like a third-person shooter, but the moment they see, oh, it's turn-based, this is great, and also the fact that we actually got the cast of the show involved.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, it's definitely a treat for the fans.
So when you're playing in the game, can you actively swap between characters whenever you want?
Yeah, I mean, the squad that you take into combat will be locked for that mission. Okay. But, you can easily swap between characters like, okay, I don't want my, fighter to take this turn right now. So, you can swap over to somebody else, you can skip his turn, you can come back to him. It's very fluid.
And you said this was set between seasons 3 and 4 of the series?
Correct.
So are we going to maybe eventually see some kind of crossover between the game and the series? That's becoming more of a thing now. We've seen series like Defiance do stuff like that. Is that something you guys have talked about with TNT?
I mean, certainly it's a possibility. For this game, not so much. This is a pretty self-contained story. So, like I said, we do have new characters that do, show up in this game, but probably not going to see them in the series as much. We do have new villains as well. But I mean, with the story definitely takes its cue from where Season 3 left off. But you're at the, right now you won't see anything in the show that really kind of takes a cue from the game. But in the future, there's definitely some possibilities.
We'll leave the door open. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But you guys are doing something really cool and exclusive with us here at GameStop.
Yes, absolutely. Actually, for anyone who pre-orders the game at GameStop, we've got a special code that will allow folks to download or to access Tom Mason as a hero character in all of your missions instead of just the story missions.
So, will you be able to play with him from the beginning of the game?
Yes, absolutely. Under normal circumstances, the show characters will only show up, occasionally, and they'll help you out on a mission, and they're hero characters, so they got higher stats, higher damage, higher attack. But with this code, you'll be able to use Tom on all your missions.
Well, that sounds like a super awesome bonus to me.
Oh yeah, very much so. We're excited.
So, when can people watching get their hands on the game?
This game will be out this fall. It'll be available on PS3, 360, Wii U eShop, and Steam.
All right. Well, there you heard it, guys. It's coming this fall, and if you pre-order the game, you will get an exclusive offer just for GameStop customers. So be sure to get your pre-orders in now. Thank you guys so much for coming by and going through the game with me and showing me some of the characters. It looks super addicting, as you mentioned. I definitely want to give this a go, even though I'm a little trepidatious because one more addictive game, and I'm never coming out of my house ever again.
Right.
So enjoy the rest of the show, you guys. Thanks again, and we'll be right back.